Sack Life, Beat Depression. It's day 703, and we're back in Sack House for another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, appreciate you guys and girls out there. I'm coming at you today, sick. I don't know what it is I have. It might be COVID. It might be a respiratory infection. Gonna find out today after the show, so stay tuned for that. We'll do a rapid test together and see what's going on. Also running on 3 hours of sleep, so I apologize for the delay, but this is the best I could do. I can't always be here on time, but I can promise to be here every time, every day, as close as humanly possible to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that being said, I'm going to take into consideration my current situation, and I'm not going to push my body too hard. We're going to keep it kind of technical here. I'm going to give you a couple different things we can do, technical moves, and we'll throw in those fundamentals as well. Jab across, get them in there, get them drilling at speed, at intensity, matching your level today so that you can give yourself a challenge in this routine, and it can be personal to you, not just following along with me. So that being said, before we get into that, let's talk about the gratitude tools, powerful mental health tool, and I am grateful to be alive, grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have support of so many people out there who are tuning in and showing up for themselves and for others, encouraging each other to move forwards and to keep going out here, whatever situations we are under. And I want to shout out to the first ones in. Lisa the Luminary, Silky One. Who else over here? I got the, it's getting stuck. Brett, a.k.a. thank you for being here. Slayer Ken, thank you for being here. And Mad with Hats. I saw Mad with Hats somewhere. Oh no, Mad with Hats is shooting me comments, but he's not. He'll probably be here in a second. But I want to shout out to everybody for tuning in and for supporting the cause. I want to thank you for being a part of my daily self-care system and my daily life support. This is what keeps me alive and keeps me going. Hitting the heavy bags will help me overcome clinical depression, and I do it every day. I train every day so that I can stay in a positive state of mind and I can handle the stress that each day brings, right? Because every single day is going to bring us a challenge. So that's why we train, to meet that challenge and be prepared for the next things that are going to come. And Silky One said, God bless. And your health, thank you. I appreciate that. Slayer Ken said, not always on time either. Right? We're human, right? As long as we're showing up and we're making progress, that's what it's about. And we're working together to move forwards towards a bigger picture. That's what it's about. It's about that progress. Progress is success out here. Time is a construct, so it doesn't matter if it's not down to the minute. You know, we're not interviewing for a job. We're just here to support each other. So, thank you guys for being here, and I will always be here to support your growth every day for the rest of my life until depression's wiped out from the face of the planet. That's the plan. Brett said, "No worries, thoughts and prayers. Appreciate that." Ken has shared his progress at 311 days. Congrats, Ken, on that consistency, on that progress, because progress is success. When we make that daily goal of showing up, our daily accomplishable goal, we can enjoy the success of achieving that goal every single day, and then keeping track of it can build more confidence, self-esteem, self-validation, and remind us of how strong, how capable, and powerful we are. It's been 703 days, and for me, the Sack Man, and I know that this number is what is getting me up out of bed at this moment. You know, my mind is not running 100%. Sleep's definitely going to affect me, but knowing that I punched through the flu before, I had a temperature of 101. Today, I don't have a temperature, so that should mean this is slightly easier. But it's definitely doable because I've got my track record of progress and success, my track record of proof that I am capable of getting up and fighting forwards no matter what. And that's what I want you guys to have too. Ken's got one at 311 days of progress. Solid as a rock out there, consecutive. No breaks, Ken. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you sharing that progress with us. Mad with Hats, thank you for being here. Ken said, thanks for being here as well. Being here is what matters. Heck yeah, that's what it's all about. Shout out to Main Gonza. Thank you for being here as well. And that's going to conclude our gratitude and our progress tracking section. Those are 2 mental health tools we got going already, and we haven't even started. 49 days for Brett. Congrats, man. Thank you. Good stuff. Keeping track of those days, super important. Almost hitting that 2-month mark. It's good stuff. The cool thing about it is because it's a mental health goal and it's not like a physical fitness routine, sometimes with a physical fitness routine, we fall off the wagon, right? And we'll lose progress. We'll lose physical progress. And you'll have to reset that counter. With a mental health routine, we never lose progress. We never lose evidence and proof of our strength and endurance. That number only grows larger the more work we put into it. The goal, one of the goals here of keeping track of that number, is so that we can accurately give credit to ourselves for our strength and endurance, because depression often puts us in the victim mindset and wants us to believe that we're suffering, that we can't get forwards, that we can't move past these things. And that number lets us know that we can. It lets us know exactly how strong we are. It lets us know exactly how many days we can fight forwards. And not how many we just have fought forwards, but how many you can look forward to fighting forwards in the future. So thank you, Ken, for keeping track of that number. And to Brett as well. Ken is thanking Brett right now. He threw me off because I only had 3 hours of sleep. But Brett, thank you, Brett, for keeping track of that number as well. Appreciate you, man. We're all building each other up out here, and it's a cool thing we got going. So we talked about those 2 mental health tools, gratitude and the list tool. We'll mention social support too. The fact that we're building this social support system, that can be a critical lifesaver in difficult times for people dealing with depression. Finding a group that's supportive, that's growth-minded, that supports your growth out there is super important. So I encourage you to get out there, not just here in our virtual class where we have this global group for the short time we're together, but also get out there and find yourself a group of people who are like-minded individuals. You can find a lot of them in martial arts class because they're there to support each other. They're there to see you do better so they can do better. And it's a mutually beneficial agreement that tends to bring out good side of a lot of people. Not going to say it's 100%, but there's a lot of people out there supporting each other through martial arts, and they'll be easy to find once you get out there. All right, now let's get into the lesson. We're going to talk a little technical today. I got to slow it down because my body's falling apart. So I got to slow it down. We're going to visualize that target like we always do. Visualize that physical dummy, that physical embodiment of depression. Assign it the word that you want to work on. If it's anxiety or depression, you can make that the anxiety dummy or the depression dummy. And we're going to knock the lies right out of its face with some martial arts moves. We'll be working from Muay Thai stance. We're going to talk about the jab and cross, right? Those basic jab and cross, exhaling through those strikes. But we're also going to slip some attacks, and we're going to counter. And when we counter out of an attack, when we counter out of a slip, and we're talking about a cross, we want to get over their defense. Shout out to Lil Macho Man and to Paula. Appreciate you guys and girls for tuning in and for the support. Thanks for being here. We covered our gratitude tool. Go ahead and think about something you're grateful for. I'm grateful for your support. And we covered our list and progress tracking tool. So please do keep track of the number of days that you show up for yourself. Shout out to Heather as well. Thank you for being here, Heather. So we're talking about Muay Thai stance. If you're not familiar with it, stance guides on our main page at Sack Life Official, down at the bottom of the page. We're going to be in Muay Thai balanced stance, visualizing that opponent. We're going to practice those fundamentals, pop, pop, pop. And we're going to talk about a rolling cross this time. And that rolling cross is going to help me, or help you guys, help all of us, get past that defense that our opponent has. So when our opponent throws a cross, boom, they're tucking the chin in. If they're throwing it with good form, they're tucking the chin in to the shoulder, right? Their guard's high on the opposite side, and they're aiming for our head. They're going straight through. And from the side, you can see, with the chin tucked, right, and the shoulder rolled up, it's a very small area that we have. Plus, that defense is kind of high. We have to get over that defense. So if we threw a straight cross and they throw a straight cross, we're going to land on their arm. We're going to land on their defense. It's going to get deflected. So what we want to do, what we'll have to do to hit them, is to come over the top and roll that cross. We're going to turn the fist over, all the way over, like 180 degrees, over and curve it over the top, kind of in an arc, coming from an arc over the shoulder, twisting through, and that's going to allow us to get over that defense and make contact. Little Macho Man said, how's it going? Not that great, man. Got 3 hours of sleep, and I'm sick with something that might be COVID. I don't know. I'm going to find out after the show. I think it's just a respiratory infection based on my current symptoms, but you can't be too careful today. So do a rapid test after the show today. Stay tuned for that. Fun times. But back on track. We're visualizing that opponent. We're acknowledging what it is we're doing today when we're fighting forwards, when we're standing up and moving forwards for ourselves. We are overcoming those debilitating effects of depression. So that's why we want to acknowledge that that is a depression dummy. We're visualizing that target in front of us. We're stepping in for the jab, twisting our fist over, landing flat on those large 2 knuckles, twisting through for the cross. And then we're going to shell up. We're going to create a defense here, slipping our head off the center line. We're turning our body, getting that head off the center line, bracing for impact with that front fist, creating a shield, right? And then here is our perfect chance to counter. And when we counter, we talked about it before, we're going to throw an arcing cross. This one's going to come up and over, boom, over that defense, turning that fist over so we can land on the large 2 knuckles right in the face of the depression dummy and slip right past his defense. We're also going to talk about a slip into a hook from the opposite side, and then a slip into a body shot, boom. And if we do it just right, we can step into that slip and land a shot right on into the liver. It's a pretty devastating blow and shut a person down. Doesn't have to be all headshots out here. So we'll break down those other 2 shots, the hook, the counter into the hook, the slip into the body shot, and the slip into the rolling cross that will get around the defense of that opponent. That's all for that. We'll go through it at kind of a regular pace for myself. Those basic fundamental jabs and crosses will be in there for you guys to moderate to your intensity level. Remember, you can change the pace, you can change the speed, you can change the energy behind those punches, and that's the way that you can moderate to challenge yourself to your given level for the day. Take into consideration your surroundings, how much sleep you got last night, how hot it is, how much water you've had, if you were drinking, if you were partying. All these things are going to affect you. So the main thing is to give ourselves a challenge. We don't want to take it too easy to where it's boring. We don't want to push too hard to where it's work and we need a day off. We want to find that flow zone in between where we can challenge ourselves to our skill level. And as that skill level goes up, we can increase that challenge. So tune into the here, to the now, where we're capable and powerful. And we're going to get this thing going.
Bluetooth.
Bam. Let's do it. There we go. Got our daily beat, standard round, 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. 1 minute breaks to catch your breath and drink some water. Go ahead and visualize that opponent, square up, and let's step in for a 1-2, that jab cross. Right down the center line. Stepping in and twisting through the body, through the hips, through the shoulders, sending that fist straight forwards. Turn that fist over and land on the large 2 knuckles. Rotate back to stance. Let's do it, 1-2. Remember, this is the section you can moderate to you. You can add in more, you can do less. You can slow them down. Really focus on form. If you're not feeling that energy level today, focus on form. Twisting through, keeping the guard high, keeping the head centered, and staying on track, staying balanced. Step in, 1-2, right down the pipe, straight down the center. Pop, pop, twist through, tucking that chin into those shoulders. Guard high, and hit them, let's go. Step in, and back, square up. You can roll those fists like you see me doing here. Find that rhythm, find that flow in your stance. Helps you build that timing. Make sure you're shifting the weight forwards and backwards on the ball of each foot. Knees bent, heels slightly raised. And square those hips and shoulders up with your opponent after each combo. Step in for the 1-2. Down the pipe, let's go. Back in. And back out. Step in. Back out. Step in. And back out. Let's multiply it. And back. 4 shots. Down that center line and back. Square up. And back. Turn those fists over. Twisting through for the 1. Twist through for the 2. Twist for the 3. Twist for the 4. As we rotate that lead hand, we're going to rotate on the ball of the lead foot. Rotate the rear hand. Rotate on the ball of the rear foot. Everything is turning together in unison. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3 combo. Hit that dummy in the face. Visualize that target. Boom. Make contact with that target. With those large 2 knuckles. Right on the chin. Right on the nose. Let's go. And back to stance. Now we're going to visualize an attack coming in. And we're going to shell up. Turning our body to the right. we're gonna block that attack, and we're gonna block to the outside of that attack. So if a cross is coming in, we wanna block and get our head on the outside, leaving them open for a counter attack. So visualize that cross, slip to the outside, and then we're gonna roll that fist over the top, turning that fist over 180 degrees, sending it in an arc over the top of their defense, twisting through and making contact for that counter. Step in for the 1-2, square up. Now shell up for the slip the head off the line, and then counter by rolling that fist over 180 degrees, arcing it over their defense. Step in for jab cross, square up, slip, and counter with that rolling, arcing, cross, back to stance, slip, counter, back to stance, and that's the end of round one. Catch your breath, drink some water. Shout out to the Stone Boxer. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that support. I'm moderating to my pace, to my skill level today, and being kind to my mind and body. Coming at you sick and on 3 hours of sleep. So my intensity level is going to be a little bit lower. I want you guys and girls to make sure you're challenging yourself to your personal level for the day. Make sure you can increase that pace, the speed of your punches, the volume of your punches, the power behind those punches. And that way you can really make the class about you, tune into you. We've got 18 seconds. And we're going to get into that counter hook. So we're going to slip this time to the opposite side. We're going to be slipping a jab or a cross, depending on if they're southpaw or orthodox. But basically what we're doing here, we're slipping to the outside of that lead attack. When we slip to the outside, this time we're using that rear hand as a shield, right? Bracing the head, bringing that shoulder into the center line. And then we're going to rotate back and toss a hook. Boom, right up into the face of that opponent. So back on track, square up with that depression dummy. Step in for the 1-2. Down the center line, right down the pipe, tuck that chin. Back to stance, hit him with a couple combos. Square up, combos. Square up. You can throw as many as you want here. Boom, 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 boom. All to your pace, all to your level, at your speed. Exhale through them for a little more oomph, for a little more snap. Send them down that pipe and hit that depression dummy right in the face. Knock those lies out. Remind yourself what you're doing every day. Giving yourself that proof that you are stronger than those lies. Exhale hard and let's go. 1, 2, 3. Back to stance. Give yourself a challenge. There's no growth without that challenge. Let's go. Back to stance. Square up. Hit him in the head. Straight forward. Back to stance. Now we're going to shell up to block that attack. We're slipping that lead attack, and we're going to counter by rotating through, boom, and tossing that fist up into a nice hook. Locking the arm at 90 degrees, wrist nice and straight. Turn that palm in facing you or facing down. It's a matter of preference. And we're going to use that body weight and that rotation, whoosh, to load up and to land that counter hook nice and strong. Step in for the 1-2. Square up, slip that attack, and counter with the hook. Rotate right on back. You can sink into it a little bit. Sink in on the knees and kind of stand up. It'll put a little more power behind that hook. For a nice knockout punch there. Step in for the 1-2. Square up. 1-2. Square up. 1-2. Square up. And slip. Counter hook. There it is. Back to stance. Now we're going to slip. Bring that other slip back. That lead slip. And we're going to do the rolling cross. Turn that fist all the way over 180 degrees. To get over that defense. Slip that lead cross, counter with an arcing, rolling cross. Roll that fist 180 over. Send it over the top of that shoulder of your opponent. Slip the lead attack, counter with the arcing cross. Back to stance. Slip the opposite attack, boom, and we're going to counter with the hook. There it is, square up, hit him with the 1-2. Square up, slip and arcing cross. Slip, arcing cross right over the top of that defense. Slip and hook. Boom, there it is. Slip and arc. There it is. Slip and hook. There it is. Slip and arc. Boom, back to stance. Square up. And that's the end of round 2. Catch your breath, drink some water, check in on you, make sure you're doing all right. and make sure you're giving yourself a challenge. Ooh, pushing to your level. How do we know we can be here every day? Because we got proof. Keep track of that proof of your progress. Keep track of that proof of your success, your strength, and your endurance out there, so you can remind yourself on those tough days. We got 24 seconds. We're going to pop back into it, and we're going to talk about that counter to a liver shot. Now, for the liver shot, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to want to step in on that lead foot. When we slip, we're going to step in, kind of loading up on that lead foot. We're going to stand up and drive that fist forward, firing through from the hip, up on an angle. We're aiming underneath those ribs, aiming for those bottom two ribs. Want to come up on an angle and kind of punch through. Visualizing punching through the guts of that opponent and aiming for the spine behind them. If your fist was to go inside their body, you're aiming right for that spine, right for center mass. So over this one, step in for 1, 2. Let's get that cardio in. Square up, 1, 2. Square up, 1, 2. Square up, 1, 2. Square up, keep it moving. Throw a couple more jabs and cross. Work to your level, speed them up. Back to stance, keep it square. Chin tight, defense high. Keep going, and we're gonna start slipping to that liver punch. So for that slip, we're gonna step in, right? We're gonna shell up and turn, get our head off the line just like we do for everything else. But this time we're gonna step in diagonally, sinking down on that front knee. And as we stand, boom, we're gonna stand up. We're gonna turn through the body, rotating the shoulders and lifting at the same time. Boom, and we're sending that fist right up inside the body towards the spine. We're sending a shockwave into a liver and really shut down an opponent. Step in, jab cross, square up, keep it square, jab cross. Now we're gonna slip their attack. Boom, stepping in onto that front foot. Drop the fist to 90 degrees and rotate up, firing through the hip. Whoosh, boom, right there. Turn through the shoulders as well. Put those muscles together. Work that sweet science. Back to stance, 1, 2. Now we're gonna slip and toss that arcing cross like we did before. Slip, arcing cross, back to stance, 1, 2. Slip, hook, slip, hook, back to stance, 1, 2. Now we're gonna slip and hit him with the liver shot. This one we step in and torque through the body, right from the hip, bam, right up into that liver. Back to stance, square up, hit him with the 1, 2. Slip, arcing cross, slip, arcing cross, back to stance, 1, 2. Slip, hook, boom, 1, 2. Back to stance, slip, liver shot, boom, sink into it, whoosh. Stand up off that front foot, loading up, using those leg muscles. Back to stance, 1, 2. Square up, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to stance, slip and arcing cross. Boom. Back to stance, slip and hook. Back to stance, slip and body shot. Boom, right to the liver. Back in, 1, 2. Square up, 1, 2. Square up, 1, 2. Square up, 1, 2. Square up, slip and arcing cross. Boom, there it is. Slip hook. There it is, and slip body shot. Whoosh, there it is. Exhale hard, and that is the end. Woo! Of all 3 rounds of progress and success for today, I definitely gave myself a challenge. Even in my current situation, maybe I pushed a little too hard. I think I'm all right. Now, normally I would say that the signs of overreaching are dizziness, nauseousness, lightheadedness, seeing spots. And if you're feeling any of those things, you got to dial back that intensity. However, I was dizzy and lightheaded before I started. A little bit nauseous. So I can't really apply that to myself because I'm in an altered state. I just tried to dial it down and keep it at that intensity level where it wasn't too much of a push and I won't need a passive day off. And I hope that you guys did the same. I hope you gave yourself a challenge because that's what it's all about. Without the challenge, we can't see growth. Can't see growth in the comfort zone. And growth is the goal here. So keep growing. And until next time, I will see you guys same exact time, same exact channel, same exact life. Zach Man out. Whew.